Good luck
This
out there,
reminds me of a conversation I had with someone today about like the whole shit with Steve Lacy. Like you saw how someone threw that disposable camera at him, and he broke it on the stage, and then like literally people got upset at him. I'm still this is what I was talking to this person about. We were trying to just unpack it, and I said to her, I was just like, a part of it is they're looking at Steve, a human being, as a commodity.
Yeah.
Right.
Like he is supposed to be a robot.
Right.
Like a Chuck E. Cheese robot on the stage. I should be able to throw a fucking camera at you and you continue to perform because I paid good money for these tickets. God damn it.
Yeah.
Seriously, to the point where there's viral TikToks where they're making fun of him, like doing this trope of like he hates his fans. It's like someone threw some shit at, like, he doesn't deserve human dignity and respect because he's performing and he has, you know, wealth and all of this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like the McDonald's customer support, customer service mindset of like multiple generations of people in this country. And I was also saying to this person, some of these people think that they got the humanization thing down, like they got it down to a science, but it's really just a public relations checklist tied to optics and performance.
Yeah.
You know, and they're applying it to these celebrities and these performers, but they also apply it to themselves and their friends.
Yeah.
And especially in the digital age where people aren't even actually socializing in real community like that anymore.
Oh, it's so spooky out there. It's especially
for younger.
A crowd like that can't even do but the hook of that song, and it's supposed to like his fans, and it's a whole concert of people that don't know the verses to his own song. No, but
I couldn't believe it was a conversation.
Right.
I could not believe it. I really couldn't.
Bro, that's why
I think people thought it was a phone. I think, and people thought that was hard.
If somebody
threw their phone, they don't give a fuck about their phone either.
Like,
that's what I'm saying. What are we talking about? What are we talking?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like,
don't throw something at somebody.
Right.
Like,
I mean, bro, that's why I respect people that work in Europe so much, because they're just like, they don't give a fuck about their job because it's not their whole life.
Yeah,
it's like you ask them for something, they're like, "Yo, sure, I'll get it because I'm here right now, but fuck you a little bit."
Yeah,
it's
culturally,
all that energy.
It's kind of badass that you know.
Yeah,
like it's still whatever. You're still
Europe and Africa, same shit.
Do y'all see what I'm saying in that though? Like, like the commodification, like a human as a commodity, yeah, but it's also the atomization that has to exist for people to stand in a room like that and treat someone like that.
Yeah. I mean, bro,
do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, like you have no social
you are
awareness.
Completely,
I mean, bro,
everything is removed from me.
I mean, bro,
I'm here to consume.
I've had that happen to me before. Not that exact thing. Actually, first of all, two things. Shout out Ariel Elias, who's a comedian friend of mine, just blew up online because somebody did that to her.
Oh shit!
But it was like they threw a beer can at her, a full beer can, on stage, and she like.
Bro, what is it? Like, what is?
Because it's just a fucking mess, right? Like
this is also what the person I was talking to was saying.
I saw a video of like I think it was Lucky. Either getting his dick grabbed or something, and and he like almost beat the shit out of the kid. And it's like these little white kids that go to see these rapper shows have no idea how to act.
Yeah,
and then it's just like, what the fuck is going on?
I mean, bro, you saw that at a Zalooper show. They don't know how the fuck to be at a show.
They're looking at people,
and that was innocent. That was just like they didn't know how to do a Soul Train line. That was some regular shit. But
no, but still, like you're not even drunk. You're not even just having a good time and don't give a shit. And have fun. Don't be weird.
To the point about Steve, I did a show a few years ago that it was at an anime convention. I do that sometimes, just for. It was at Anime NYC, and I was hosting an event and I don't remember if they introduced me as a comedian or if they just brought me up and was just like, he's just gonna entertain y'all for a second. I don't remember what it was. Like people that don't,
Like you're a sideshow.
well, like people,
We don't know what he's gonna do.
when people are not like explicitly comedians, they don't know how the fuck to handle comedy. Like I don't know if you go to if you perform at a comedy show, the advice I always give, if you ever are introducing a person that people are supposed to be excited about, say their name last. It's that simple. Say their name last. It's not a TED talk, but if there's a comedian at a college, they'll have their student host and they'll be like, your next performer's name is Yedoye Travis. He was on this show and he has all these credits and we're so lucky to have him. Please make a lot of noise for him. And then they kind of trail off at the end. Just say the name last.
Basic hosting,
so they can clap. And at this event, they kind of did the same thing because they didn't know what the fuck they were doing, and they brought me out, and I was just supposed to like entertain these kids. I go out with the assumption like it's a rowdy crowd. They're not expecting stand up, obviously, and I assumed it was a situation where I assumed I was gonna have to do crowd work, but they're just like screaming at me the whole time. Not like screaming, but they're just like demanding that I do all types of different shit that I don't do, or that I do.
People are animals, bro.
They're fucking like
get a hold of yourself.
Yeah, well, they're just
basic decency.
The worst thing for me is like I do sing. I like to sing, but when people demand that I sing,
no,
it's I don't.
No,
it's just it's a pressure point for me that really bothers me. And
I hope people were not there asking you to sing.
They were demanding that I sing, and didn't register it as like genuine when I told them that that's disrespectful. And like and I had fun with the whole thing because they were like kids.
It's also an anime convention, right?
Yeah,
so it's just another layer to that of just like social deficiency,
right? We're like, and like on top of that, the oldest person there is probably like 22, 23, and so I'm just kind of like, I knew this is gonna be like this, but it also sucks,
right?
And it's also super fucked up that people are growing up thinking that they can treat people this way, just because they're a consumer, you know.
People used to shut the fuck up. People used to just be quiet and watch them.
Well, you know what?
It'd be hard to get a noise out of them.
It's not even about shutting the fuck up, because I think that's a problem in stand up too. Is that
that's true. Also, yeah,
people watch it now like they're watching it on TV.
Ooh, yeah,
you know.
Yeah,
and
that's weird.
Yeah, it's real fucking weird. And I go to shows now where I'm just like, yo, if you got something on your heart, just say something. I don't care. I try to run to run stand up shows now like we did our live show.
Right.
Because
I love that.
Yeah.
Because it's like that's where people are at. So all right, I'm gonna come right out to you. What are you thinking?
Yeah. Like, and it's like y'all did pay to be here,
right?
And it is supposed to be an experience for all of us,
right? Hopefully
enjoyable for all of us. So maybe feel free to engage in the thing that you paid for, but also don't demand that it be something else, and don't demand that it be the version of it that you want it to be.
Right.
Because just because you've seen a bunch of crowd work clips on TikTok or Instagram, and you think comedy is supposed to be that way now.
That is becoming quite a Pandora's box, I gotta say. The normalization of crowd work. I'm sorry, my friend.
Oh, bro. I did a show in Denver where a woman like talked through my entire closing bit, and I was just gonna talk to her and like be cool about it after the show. The management went up to her and was just like, yo, you can't fucking do that. All this, like people have these sort of rigid ideas about what comedians like, and they'll kind of speak for you. I was just gonna be like, hey man, just be a normal person.
Yeah.
And then she came up to me and was just like, well, you got to understand, this is the way the landscape is now. This is what people are doing, so you kind of got to get with it. And that's when I snapped on her. I was like, no, don't tell me how to do my shit.
That's when I pull out the the first reformed suicide vest, and I'm just I'm there. I'm ready.
Yeah,
let's
right.
meet God together.
I gotta
right.
I gotta shouts out the homie Georgia M. Muldrow on this point because, and I'm forgive me, Georgia, I'm having a brain fart on what she's calling it, but she's been developing a program, and I guess it would be standards and protocols around live performance for artists that humanize basically everyone in the room. Yeah. It's really interesting. Really? Yeah, I don't know if she has anything public yet, but it's something she's been talking to me about for years now, and I'm literally having a brain fart on what she calls it. But yeah, that's something I'll probably bring up again if she has like more fleshed out stuff that's out
very
there.
Interested in that. Yeah.
She New York based?
No, she's in LA.
Okay.
But this is like super, it's literally related directly to the prefiguration and all the shit we were talking about before, because it's like that's another part of it. It's like, how are we humanizing each other in these experiences of like exploring art and experiencing art and all of that, getting away from the shit of treating performers and artists like fucking Chuck E. Cheese robots.
Right.
Chris, I think, what's his name again? DiStefano?
DiStefano.
I saw a clip of his on TikTok, which I feel like I watch more fucking stand-up than I ever have in my life because I'm just on TikTok. It's just like, this works, this gets engagement, just straight jokes. It's like, go figure. Comedy, stand-up comedy would crush on an app where like jokes go viral.
It's because people don't want to burn their material in there. That's all that is.
But yeah, no, I was also just saying, like, in general, like it's respect to the art of stand-up comedy, because it goes, like, if you go to Sebastian Maniscalco's fucking TikTok, it's just millions of, I mean, it's like it's like 2-minute jokes, and it's just millions of likes, and it's just it puts into perspective. It's like, this is really like, this also is an art form in a way, you know what I mean? Like, motherfuckers are. But anyways, that was my point. Fucking, he got his punchline yelled at him at this
that is so annoying.
His like this huge show. It wasn't huge, but it looked like a big like barbecue or some shit. Yeah. And the guy, after he said it, he's like, "Oh yeah, thanks, you ruined the joke." And he goes, "Yeah, I know you, bro." And it's like, dude, I don't have brain cells that would like fit that structure to even make that make sense. But he was like, I gotta say, I've been doing stand up for X amount of years. You are the worst audience members I've ever had, or like this year. He's like, you were the worst audience. He's like, he was like, put your heads down. He's like, put your heads down now for the rest of the show. Put your heads down. He's like, I could make them kick you out right now, but just put your heads down. And they're literally like, and like put their heads down.
Oh my God, bro.
And it was just like, you could just act like a normal person. Yeah. You could act like a normal human being.
Right. This shit is such a fucking mess, man. It's like, people go to comedy shows, and the one thing I understand is not sitting in the front. You don't want to get talked about, whatever. But like, it doesn't have to be like that. You can just come to a show and
also maybe like just suck it the fuck up and take a joke or two about the fucking shirt you're wearing.
There's also that.
There's also that. Just to broaden it out a bit in terms of live performance space stuff and like how weird things are. Mm-hmm. You know, people for a minute have like been trying to point to the pandemic and like people being in isolation and that being like, and I definitely think to a certain degree that was a thing, but my gut is saying that there's a broader social and cultural thing happening because of how isolated we fucking are across multiple generations, and increasingly so in our day-to-day, in our social interactions, and also like the interplay between that and how we interact with each other through social media. So it creates this situation to where someone's like, from behind a screen, I love this person so much and I love their art so much, I'm gonna buy this ticket and I'm gonna show up and whatever happens, and they get there and some people are just frozen because they're anxious and they're not socially primed to be in that kind of environment. They just kind of took a leap of faith and jumped in anyways. But then you got people who are like, I paid good money for this ticket, god damn it.
Right.
I gotta get my picture.
Yeah.
I gotta get my picture so bad that I'm gonna throw my fucking disposable camera at your body so that maybe you'll pick up the camera and take a selfie and throw it back to me. It's like they don't have any type of
which they're doing because they saw that online probably like, oh yeah,
there we go.
Meg Thee Stallion caught a phone and this is what she did, you know.
Right.
And that to me is that's the scary subtext of the whole thing.